This is another video with exercises that I use along with Chang Taiji. So just a little bit, if you haven't watched my other videos, Chang Taiji is taught differently than a lot of the Tai Chi styles. We're really focused on two things. One is functional fitness, which includes strength and we'll say mobility, those type of attributes. The other side, like we'll say self-defense application or martial applications. So this particular video is over where I have a lot of people that come to me, and especially we'll say late 60s, 70s, early 80s, where they're walking with a forward lean. Okay, we say it's a hunched over. You know, there's different words that people use, but the gait of the feet is been narrowed, and they bend from here like it's a hinge. And then in doing this, then the head pushes up like this, but then affects the neck, the lower back, and the legs. So we're going to look at some different things today to hopefully help with this. Some of them are going to be stretches, some of them are going to be exercises, and I'm going to tie that in with the Tai Chi that I do and the Tai Chi walking, which is really, really important, I feel, for a person with this situation. So the first thing we want to talk about is awareness. So a lot of people just, they gradually get to the point where they're walking like this and you don't even really put a lot of, they don't see it. Other people may say, hey, stand up or something like that. A lot of that has to do with we'll say the core muscles. So when we do that for a period of time and walking like this, we're not really engaging the core, and the muscles that are within the core become somewhat weak. And so this is one of the biggest ways that we'll say the older people fall down. Because if you think about it, the weight is over the feet. You follow me like this? And, I'm past my toe in a sense. And so then if you have to turn or something, it really kicks your weight out over the foot and makes it easier to fall down. I'm going to always kind of tie in the self-defense aspect of it too, because there are people that are younger that need to watch these videos so that they can keep these things from developing in their own stuff. But for martial application, I wouldn't want my weight to be over. It would be hard for me to recover or do something, or to generate force to push something or pull something or to strike something. Okay? So when we walk naturally, and this foot goes out, your core on this side should somewhat contract. Okay? So I'm leaning a little bit to kind of emphasize this. But see here, when this foot goes forward, I should feel this swing with my body. Right? And then it'll transfer, right? You'll feel it go across. You'll feel it go across. You'll feel it go across. And right off the bat, if you can kind of think about your core muscles and how the body should rotate when I do something, right? I'm moving like this, and I'm going to swing my arms to kind of emphasize. And so, like if I'm walking, I should be able to swing the arms with my body. If you don't feel these muscles in here, then be aware and try and focus, concentrate on it. I move. As I move. As I move. So that kind of rolls into the other stuff, but I just want to make the person aware of that first. If you're leaning forward, it's going to be easier for you to potentially fall. Two, if I don't feel my muscles in my core, then I have nothing to stabilize me as the leg goes forward. Right? I'm here like this, but if I can contract these and stabilize the core, then I'm more stable. You know, as it relates to some exercises, I need to be able to bring my leg through, right? Just like if I wanted to walk up a set of stairs, right? I want to walk up stairs, or I want to just walk across, right? If I'm walking like this, I'm really just kind of sliding my foot forward, right? I'm not really engaging the hip flexors, and I want to do that. So when I bring the leg through, I want to be able to pick it up enough that I'm engaging these muscles. If you look at some of my videos of our exercises, a couple of them to really to start with is sitting in a chair and doing a standing squat. These kind of things. That will help to strengthen the core and the legs. No matter how I have several options in the exercise videos. Or you can use a doorway. The next couple of exercises, and I'm just going to briefly touch on these. If you go to my playlist, you will see Taiji exercises, and you can pull those up and see several exercises that you can do or more involved with each skill set. So there's raising the knee. This really helps to strengthen the hip flexors. There's pulling the foot across. I want to try to at least get it up past my knee. I could do those with a chair or something, you know. Like I said, if you go to the videos, you will, I explain those things very much in depth. I'm just trying to give a little bit of an overview. When I was talking about stretches, let's say, I'm going to do it against this mirror here, so you can see what I'm talking about. So I want to come up to a wall. And first off, I want to see if I can put my back against it, and then look my head. But look, I'm not trying to do this by rolling my head back, but can I tuck my chin and then flatten me against the wall? And I want, you know, my upper back, my buttocks, my heels are touching, my shoulders. Now you may not be able to do this. And especially if you've been walking like this for a period of time. The muscles may be weak, but also everything has become, we'll say, somewhat tight and stiff. And we want to loosen our back up a little bit, okay? So you can use this as a guide, but also from here, when I get here, I want to try to lift and stretch my spine. See how I raised my rib cage and back up again. And look, I'm not trying to do it with my shoulders, but I want to just try to open up the rib cage and try to keep the head to the wall. Now, also too, I can come here and raise my arms up. Now look, if you have a frozen shoulder or you have some stiffness, this may be difficult. But look, I want to keep my head, my back, my buttocks against the wall, my heels. And then look, I'm going to stretch those arms back until they touch. Now, again, if you've got a bad shoulder or pinned shoulder and you can't do this, just try your best to, even if I have to leave this one here, but this one will go back. Right? Try to work it. Now, also too, I'm going to raise my hands above my head. And look, I'm going to stretch back and I'm going to try to touch my fingers to the wall. And look, I'm trying to keep my chin down, my back against the wall, my buttocks and my heels and my calves. Now, if you've got that impinged shoulder, you might be able to do it like this, but look, I'm not trying to overly force into my scapulas, into my rotator cuffs to hurt them. Right? I want to get here and then I want to kind of open everything. This will help to loosen you up some. I can also do these in a doorway. So say I'm here and I'm going to come up to the doorway, so I'm pretty much we'll sit flat, right, like this. And then I'm going to push inward. So if you're at home and like, let's say, there's the kitchen and the dining room, or kitchen and the living room, and you go through there several times a day, and every time you go through there, just walk up to it, stand here, and stretch out your upper back. Right? Loosen everything up. And when I do it, again, point the chin down, raise the crown of the head. Now, I can also do that in a chair. So say I'm in the chair, and this chair kind of goes down. If you've got like a kitchen table chair, they're usually flat, or maybe a stool or something. And I'm going to sit here and let my arms hang. And look, I'm going to take my chin and push it in and lift the crown of my head. And back. Up. Back. And look, I can do the same thing with my arms again. They're here. I push the chin down. Raise the crown. You notice I'm really pushing out of my abdominals too. I'm really loosening up this, my lumbar, my traps. I can do it this way. Lift up and push down. Also from the chair, you can use your hands for support to do this. But look, I'm going to raise those knees. I want to loosen up those hips and work those hip flexors. So, again, just to review this part. So we want to have an awareness of the situation. If this is really going on, I want to make myself aware of it, so I can be more conscious of the fact that, well, the longer I keep leaning over and I don't address it, and I'm not trying to adjust my posture, the more likely it is for me to maybe be able to slip or to become unstable or maybe fall. And we don't want to do that. I don't want to do that any more than anybody else. And two, when I'm doing my walking, it doesn't, we're going to look at the Tai Chi walking and why it's going to be helpful for all of this in a second. But even if I'm still only taking half steps, I really want to feel when I take that step, I want to think I'm lifting that knee so that I'm engaging these hip flexors. And then when I put the leg down, I want to twist. I want to feel like I'm twisting my core. And it's like it engages and it goes across. I want to feel those abdominal muscles. And if I feel good about it, I get better. And look, yes, you're not going to walk around in the local Walmart and swing your arms like this. But it helps me to reconnect to my core so I can feel this. I want to feel that twist. And remember, try to avoid rolling the head back because then it'll round the back, right? I want to lift the crown of the head. Again, the exercises, just 2 or 3 basic ones. Again, you can watch the other videos, but it's one of the big ones. We want to be able to raise the knees so we work those hip flexors. It's great to raise the heels too. I mean, I'm using this for some stability, but this helps me with my overall balance. Hip flexor muscles, hips. Again, from the chair. Being able to stand up. Again, against the wall. I want to check myself and see, can I put my knee against the wall without pushing my head back? Can I do it like this and tuck the chin and raise the head? This will really help me with my posture And if this should feel potentially weak or maybe tight. And from here, again, I'll raise the arms out. And look, I kind of flex them back, being sure that I'm looking straight ahead and my chin is stuck down above my head. You can let them go back down and up. You can do these same exercises in a chair. So I'm just isolating the back. There are other exercises that you can do like this that will require you to lay on the ground. I'm not including those in this, and there's other ones that we can do too. I'm just trying to give a little overview. And I'll probably make a couple other videos. But yeah, there is the getting on the ground and getting up, and there are other videos that I have or that discuss those kind of things. How does the Tai Chi walking kind of interplay with this? Well, one, I wanted to try to always have my heel in front of my other foot. And this can be challenging at first. So it's okay if you take smaller steps in the beginning. Okay? But when we do it, we want to make sure our chin is tucked and our head is up. Now, if I'm just doing it this way, it's not really doing much to engage me. A lot of Tai Chi styles, they just shift back and forth, which will loosen up the hips and work the core some, or they'll even roll on the foot like this. And that's great. It gets the body in movement, but it really doesn't engage the hip flexors as much as the way that we do it in Chang Tai Chi, which is more of this type of thing. So even if I'm using the narrow stance, I'm going to sit, right? And then look, I'll drive. Open it. I stepped out. The weight's here, and I'm sitting. And then look, I drive. But when I do it, I'm not going to push into this knee. Now, you go, well, if you look at me, you go, wow, he's leaning. He's just telling us about leaning, and now he's leaning. Well, when I do this, it has we'll say the generalized purpose is for self-defense first, right? That's what Tai Chi originated from. But as it relates to doing it for functional fitness, it actually is pretty good because one, it engages the muscles in the legs, the buttocks, and the core. And at the same time, it really stresses this, right? But look, my posture is correct. Now, of course, I'm not going to walk around like this, but for my Tai Chi practice, to strengthen my body, or to be able to use this to push, right? To be able to push. What would you think? Would it be easier? Would you get more effort out of your body pushing this way, or pushing this way? Just think if you were going to push a car, right? Would it be easier to push like this, or to push like this, right? I wouldn't be able to engage the leg muscles and the buttocks and the core as much. And that's the reason we do this, to maximize we'll say our force or our ability to do those pushes and pulls and strikes. But for health, it is excellent because it gives me that opportunity to really use my body's mass and engage all of these big muscle groups when I'm doing this. In the beginning, you're not going to be able to do this big, right? But look, if I started here, and now, right, even if my feet are this close together, and I still sit on my butt a little bit, engage. Pick that foot up, engage. I'm going to start strengthening all this, and it's going to start loosening up. The muscles in the core will start to engage again. I'll become aware of them. The hip flexors will start to strengthen. Everything will loosen up. The muscles, the strength will start to come back somewhat. And then, as I gradually do this, I can start putting that heel in front of that toe. And you don't have to do this fast. it's better that you don't for this, what we're doing here. Because we want to feel that engagement. We want to be aware. Now, we talked about, when we were walking earlier, right, about how the core would contract as I step through and how it twists. So we're going to combine that with the stepping. So I'm here, and as this goes forward, I'm going to twist. I come back, I step forward, I'm going to twist. So as this leg extends, as it starts to get to the end, I twist the core. And I'm really trying to be conscientious of keeping the crown of my head upright and my chin in. I don't want to do this like this. Okay? Once more, I'm engaging the muscles as they go. As the leg starts to straighten, I twist the core. I let everything relax again. I step through. As this leg starts to straighten, I twist. Now, I have several videos over Tai Chi walking. There's one that's over using a narrow frame. And that would be a great one to watch if this interests you. But the big thing is there's a lot of different approaches to getting rid of this kind of, and the other thing too is when I'm doing this isn't we'll say a complete alignment. When people are usually walking like this, they're actually bent from the spine. And you kind of see what I'm saying. It's like they're walking like this. If you look at me, everything is aligned. I'm really having to use the obliques, the lumbar, and the abdominals to support me. So I'm strengthening this. At the same time, this engagement is strengthening the buttocks, the legs, and these step throughs are really helping also with the flexor muscles. It's an excellent exercise to help to cover a very common issue that a lot of people have. Now, you can even be younger, in your 40s or 50s with the same problem. Say you hurt your hip, your back, or your knee or something, or maybe for a period of time you were overweight and you've lost the weight, but you're still, have a lean to you because the muscles got weak and all of that. So anybody can benefit from doing these exercises. But the big thing is, we want to get to the point where we can get that foot out. Look at some of these stretches and some of these fundamental exercises. And again, if you just look at this Tai Chi walking with a narrow frame, and you try that, it will gradually improve all of that for you. Because I'm working all of this. At the same time, I'm really working my posture. Again, doing Tai Chi this way where I'm just shifting. And a lot of times they'll shift into the knee. We don't want to cause any more, some people have bad knees. We don't want to affect the knees. So they kind of shift back and forth like this. So they're not really putting a lot into this, or they'll even roll back on this so they even take less. They even take more out of the potential engagement of the muscles, right? So one more time like this. And if you notice even, when I go to step through and I'm here, look, everything is, the posture is straight up and down. It's when I extend the leg, and look, I dry it out, my crown, my posture is here, good. Everything straightens back up. By doing this, strengthening this, you can do this every day. It won't, it's not going to, it's gentle on the joints. And, but we want to get that foot out there, and we want to fix our posture so we're walking more upright. It'll make us feel better, and at the same time, it won't just make us feel better.